Hey guys, and welcome to the Women of Virtue. My name is Tatyana, for those of you who are new here, and I'm going to be your host. For those of you who are not new here, hey, and welcome back, sis. I'm so happy that you decided to join us here again. Today, we're going to be talking all about why you should be protective of your energy. So without further ado, let's get into today's Top Talk. The biggest thing that I want you guys to be very mindful of when it comes to protecting your energy is that not everyone belongs at your table. Not everybody deserves a seat at your table. And I think this is the biggest problem that a lot of people have when it is time to truly step into the highest version of themselves, because they're trying to keep everybody who's always been at their table at their table. And we don't realize that some of these people were not meant to be in our lives in the first place. And while they aligned with the lower vibrational version of ourselves, they just may not align to where God is taking you and to what God has for you. And even if these people are supposed to be in your life generally, they're not meant to be in your immediate circle. This is because not everybody has your best interests at heart. Let's be real. Not everybody who sits at your table is really on your team. Not everybody who you have allowed to step into your life and take up important roles and sit at certain seats in your life belongs in that seat, because that is what you wanted for your life. That is what you chose while you were in this low vibrational state. However, once you call on God and you have God take over your life and you have God have you step into this new purpose, this new path, you no longer are working or acting with what you think is best. You're working at what God thinks is best. And as you start to walk in your new path, and as you start to walk into this higher version of yourself, into the best version of yourself that God is calling you to be, who He has called you to be your entire life, that you were straying away from, that you were scared to step into, as you truly walk into that person, you will see that God will take these people out of your life against your will, right? Because if He tells you, hey, I feel like you need to demote this person, He'll show you in small ways at first, and you'll have it in your intuition to maybe not completely exit this person out of your life or get rid of this person altogether, but maybe give them a general access admissions rather than a VIP admissions into your life. But when you neglect to heed His call, then you get put into a position where you have these abrupt endings to relationships that were not meant to be what they were. And then you're left with hurt and pain that you now have to overcome because you decided to take a harder path than what God was trying to get you to go down. Pretty much God says, when you don't listen to Him, do you want this the easy way or the hard way? He shows you the easy way. If you neglect to take it, you then have to go the hard way of then dealing with the falling of that relationship, dealing with the falling of that friendship, dealing with the falling of that family member that you have a huge falling out with, because you were just supposed to give them general access to your life. They weren't supposed to know all of the ins and outs of what you were doing. Any endeavor that God has called you on, they weren't supposed to know it all, right? They were just supposed to have a general access pass. And because you continued to try to keep them in the VIP section, now God has taken them out completely. And it's made it to where as though you can't keep them in that VIP section because they no longer suit you at all. So it's very important that you understand that not everybody deserves a seat at your table, and God will show you this. And here's why. I was reading this book called Think and Grow Rich. In this book, he talks all about how our mindset is very much going to dictate our wealth in the future. And he wasn't only talking about monetary wealth, but our wealth overall in life and how we view life. Our mindset on life is what controls our outcome in life, right? So when you have the 5 closest people to you with a negative and with a negative and a closed mindset, and they don't believe that life is happening for them and God is working for them, but God is working against them and life is happening to them, then this will then have an impact on your mindset. And even though it might not completely change it, it will have an impact on it. So then it could hinder you from reaching all of your potential, because even though your mindset isn't completely changed to completely deter you from going after your dream and being the best version of yourself, it hinders you from truly stepping fully in, because you're taking these people's words, these people's thoughts into consideration, even if you don't let it completely determine or deter you, right? You're still taking them into consideration when you are going towards what you actually want. So when he talks about your 5 closest friends really being the sum of your 5 closest friends, this is the truest thing that I can say to you, is to make sure the 5 closest of your friends, they don't have to be working in the same business that you want to work in. They don't have to look exactly like you do. They don't have to have come from the same background as you do. But they do have to have a growth mindset. They do have to understand that everything in life happens for a reason and that God will always be working for them. Because if they do not believe that God is working for their greater good, and they do not believe in the expansion of life and the expansion of themselves, and they're not constantly growing and evolving in God and in what God is doing in their lives, they are then going to hinder you. They don't want to support you. And that leads into my next point. Not everybody wants to see you fail, but they don't want you to succeed more than they're succeeding, right? Because you may have supportive friends, right? But they will support you to an extent, right? Oh, they'll support you when you're telling them about your business plan, when you're telling them about, what your end goal is going to be, right? But when you're in the turmoil and can you help me with this? Can you help me with that, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know, girl, like, this won't really work for me. I can't really, and they got every excuse in the book not to support you in the footwork and what it takes to get to the end result that you're showing them. They support that end result that you're showing them, but they don't support in the footwork. Those people are not for you, right? Because they're not supporting you through the turmoil, through the steps that's going to take you to get to that end goal. But you best believe those same people are going to be there like, girl, I remember when, It happens a lot in a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships where you're giving support. You're giving 10 times what this person is giving you. And that's not fair. And everybody says life isn't fair. No, but life is fair. We just accept lives that are not fair. We let people in who are not fair to us, who do not respect us and value us as much as we value them. Give you an example. My one friend, Janessa, we've been friends since, I say like 2nd grade, I believe. We met at church, and we've been friends ever since. We had times where like we have fallen outs and I was like, but really it was just petty middle school stuff. But we were actually just laughing about that the other day when we were hanging out. But she has had a nail business since we were in 9th grade, right? And we were just talking about this too. I've been getting my nails done by her since the 9th grade. And I've been paying her for my nails since the 9th grade. And it wasn't much at first because I wasn't getting a lot of money, but I was giving her like $25 for doing my nails. One, I was saving money, but I was also helping my friend to understand that even though her nails aren't the best because she's a 9th grader who's just kind of trying to get gain in her craft, she still deserved to be compensated for her work because she worked hard on it, right? So supporting your friends goes both ways. Janessa supports me. We bounce ideas off each other. It's a give and give relationship. It's not a give and take. It's a give and give. I give to her, she gives to me. And I'm not giving to her so that she will give to me. I'm just naturally giving to her and she is naturally giving to me. It is just how our friendship works. She'll buy dinner, I'll buy dinner the next time. And it's not, oh, I'm going to buy dinner so next time Top buys dinner, or I'm going to buy dinner so next time Janessa buys dinner. No, it's just you did for me, I'm gonna do for you, because we both look out for each other. You want friends who are pouring into you as much as you're pouring into them. And that is not selfish. That is not something where it's like, oh, you only do things because you want people to do it for you. No, I am naturally like this, and I want people in my life who are naturally going to give to me without me having to do for them. So whether I bought Janessa food or not, she was going to buy me that food. And whether she pays me back for the Chick-fil-A that I buy, right? I'm going to buy her Chick-fil-A because I thought about her. I want to give her food. It's not about I want to do this so that later you'll do something for me. It's I want to do this for you because I know you would do the same for me. Because I know that you are a friend that pours value back into me, and I am going to pour value into you because we are pouring value into each other. You want friends who are going to equally support you. And my last thing is to stop minimizing and shrinking yourself to fit into friendships that were never supposed to work. The people in your VIP section should never need you to shrink to get them to be at their best potential. No, you should not always need to be the center of attention, and when your friends are getting the center of attention, you then have to take over. No, what I'm saying is, if you being naturally you intimidates the people in your close circle, they do not need to be in your close circle. Because I realized this after I was in this friendship for years, and they would always tell me, you do too much, you're too loud, you're this, you're that, and they would make me shrink, and I would be quiet. I would be the shell of myself, and I would conform into being somebody that I absolutely was not, because I did the most. And then I had to realize I do the most, but I do the most because that's who I am naturally. And if being me naturally is too much for you, then you don't need to be in my life. And that's just the truth. And there's a difference between constructive criticism and somebody trying to shrink you. Constructive criticism has a solution, an effective solution. If somebody says, hey, Todd, you were a little bit too loud during prayer yesterday. Maybe when we're in prayer, you can try to lower your tone just so that everybody else is able to hear, right? There's a reason why they are correcting this. Not, oh my God, girl, like yesterday you was singing, right? And it just like you did too many runs and like you thought you was doing it, but like you really wasn't doing it. Okay, so what do you think I should do next time? Do you think I should lessen the run? No, like the runs was good, but like it was just a lot, girl. So really they're just trying to shrink you, even though it was good, even though what you were doing was fine, right? But they didn't like it because people thought you were great. People thought you were amazing, and they didn't really like that. They just want to shrink you so that you're not confident within yourself, because if you're confident within yourself, you then won't need them to validate your confidence. And also, I want to give you this as well. When I say shrinking, I also mean that you yourself decide to be more quiet in spaces because people make you feel wrong for being yourself. Oh, I can't wear this dress because they're going to think I'm doing too much. Oh, I can't do my makeup because they're going to think I'm doing too much. Oh, I can't show up with this person because they're going to think this. I can't do this because they're going to think this. If they have a problem with how you live your life, if you are not, what you are doing is not harming them or hurting them, then they need to go. Because I'm not hurting you by being me other than intimidating you. And I've realized after watching this video, she said, I am not intimidating, you are intimidated. Right? Because whether I shrink myself and I become a shell of my former self so that you cannot be intimidated, that makes no sense. If you get rid of your version, your thinking, if you get rid of the mindset where you're intimidated by me being me, then everything would be fixed. Why do I have to shrink myself because you're intimidated by who I am naturally? I am great and I can't undo that, right? Because I have tried to shrink myself and it didn't work. All I got was depression, unhappiness, unfulfillment. I have been broken. I have been shattered. I've gone through so much, and I've realized that the people who want you to stay unhappy, the people who want to keep shrinking you, is those people who want to keep you where you at. Because if you are where you at, they don't have to grow. If you're where you're at, they don't have competition. If you're where you're at, there is no reason for them to worry about you being better than them. You're a competition for them, and that's why they want you to shrink. You're a competition for them, and that's why they don't want you to realize your full potential. Be their competition, because if they feel like they're in competition with you, that's for them to take on. You're not competing with them. You are just living your own life. And if they feel as though you're winning the competition, that is something that they need to work on within themselves. But having them in your VIP area, having them have a seat at your table is not going to help you. And throughout this video, I've been saying the VIP area and general admissions. This is how you need to structure your friend groups. This is how you need to structure the access to you, right? You have your general admissions where everybody knows the general information. They know the general things that everybody should know or can naturally find out just by going on social media, right? These are the general admissions people. When they ask you something, you give them general information about how your life is going. You don't give them the nitty-gritty. You don't tell them exactly what's going on. But the people who have a seat at your table, who belong in your circle, these are the people that you bounce ideas off of. These are the people that you would trust with your life, and they could do the same with you, right? These are the people, and these 5 people are the only people that should be sitting at your table. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely reassess everyone that is in your life and see if you've put them in a higher spot than what God has called them to be into your life. And if they are, let them go. No animosity, just peace. I want to thank you guys all, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.